minute since we last kicked it. And by the way, just got in town, and I won't let cumulus clouds all in the sky.
Okay guys, so this was supposed to be literally like a whole other video. I had a whole other video planned and I had sat down and was filming it, but then I was like, oh my god, hold on you guys, I have to tell you of an experience that I've had lately with Adrian. And I started to talk about it, and then before you knew, I just was going into this whole entire story, and I had like 40 minutes of footage, and I was like, damn, well I can't tell this story and the other one within one video because we'd be here for hours. So I decided to just upload this video today and then give you guys that second story time that I was originally supposed to do this week as well. So you'll get 2 story times. I'm not mad about it, you shouldn't be either. So yeah, this video is basically going to be about how recently a man who really did me dirty years ago came back recently, apologized, but then tried to do the same thing all over again, and it really just showed me that people don't change. And this video is going to highlight about how when people show you who they are, believe them. When people sleep on you, tuck them in. And people don't change, and when they try to come back into your life and apologize and say that they did, have a mental funeral for them. So yeah, sit back, relax, get your wine, get your snacks, have a matcha as per usual. My fall order is an iced matcha latte with almond milk and pumpkin cream cold foam. You can't see it anymore obviously because it's already been drinking down, but yeah, grab everything and let's sit back, relax, and enjoy this story time slash rant slash update. You guys know Adrian, right, from my past story times. I told you guys how he like apologized to me, right, through Facebook Messenger. And he apologized, and I was like, you know what, thank you. Like, takes a lot of guts to, you know, admit your wrongs, especially for a narcissist. Like, admitting their wrongs, it's like unheard of. And it did not end there though. We kind of started like talking, not talking like getting back together. I would never do that. That is not something I would do. My worth, I know who I am as a person. But we were kind of talking to see if maybe we could just be like cordial, right? Which I know is so stupid, like it's so dumb, but I gained a lot of experience from this to know that people don't change. People don't change. I don't care what nobody says. How somebody is in their mid to late 20s is how they're gonna be for the rest of their life until they either go to therapy or get honest with themselves. And for a narcissist, that rarely happens. So we were kind of like, you know, like texting back and forth. He had asked me if he could add me back on socials. I said sure. And he had my number because after he messaged me, I was like, hey, like, do you think maybe you could call me because I would just like to ask you a few questions? And so he was like, sure. And so he called me and we talked for a little bit, and I kind of just asked him a couple questions because how many people get to say that they have like talked to their narcissist, right? So, or like ask them like questions about like, oh, like why did you do this? Or, you know, because I did this, did you do like ask questions, right? So my main question was me asking like, by me kind of allowing you to come back after every time you fucked up. And this was when I was so younger, you guys. I would never do this now. I have changed so much. But I was like, because I kind of allowed you to like, you know, come back every now and then without any like consequence or like ultimatum, did that enable your behavior? And he said, yeah. He's like, you know, my behavior's on me and I take accountability, but you know, you definitely did kind of like make it easy. And I said, you know, thank you for answering that, because I feel like there's a pattern in my past relationships where I would allow a man to come back into my life after, you know, like he kind of like screwed me over, because I always believe in second chances. Now I don't, but I would allow him to come back and I would say like, oh, you have to prove it to me or this and that. But then I wouldn't really hold up to that boundary. I would kind of just let them come back and then fall back in love, and just my boundaries would go out the window. Through a year of being single now, I have strengthened my boundaries. But I realized that, you know, like men are kind of like children. Like if you don't give them consequences, they're going to keep doing it, right? So I asked him that, and then, you know, we talked for a little bit. He told me about his life, you know, how he's doing all these things, trying to be a firefighter, trying to, you know, strengthen his education, trying to be a better person, and how he's lonely and he doesn't talk to anybody, and he doesn't, you don't really have any friends and this and that, and how he's completely changed, and like now he just wants like a genuine woman in his life, and how he really fumbled the bag with me, and that, you know, I was like everything he ever wanted. He just couldn't see it at the time, X, Y, and Z. So for me, I'm like, you know, it seems like he's changed, but I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. Like, I was smarter this time. I was like, I'll believe actions, not words. So, you know, we get to like talking a bit, shooting the shit, whatever, and immediately I noticed that he starts being flirtatious. So there was one night where he had FaceTimed me, and I didn't mind. I was working from home. I was like, whatever, you know, like we could talk. Like, but I told myself, I said, Dakota, don't be a dumb bitch. Don't go back to doing what you used to do, where, you know, a guy will apologize and you'll be like, oh my God, he's changed. And then you get back together with him. Like you have come too far. You have worked on yourself too much. You have gotten to this point where you are helping out thousands of women now get away from their narcissist, and not to talk to them anymore. Like, don't do that shit, right? So basically what had happened was I told myself, I was like, I will not hang out with him, and I will not engage in his behavior, which I knew what was going to happen. I called it from a mile away. I said, what's going to happen is we're going to start talking, we're going to start flirting, we're going to start talking about the past, and then we're going to start FaceTiming and, you know, sleeping on the phone again, and then he's going to ask me to hang out, and then it's going to just like, I'm gonna literally go in like a downward fucking spiral. It happens every time, and life will give you the same lesson over and over and over again until you learn that shit. So basically what had happened is we were talking for a little bit, you know, we would like FaceTime here and there, talk on the phone here and there, text here and there, and I noticed that he started to do what he always does, which he does these little things, like he'll say little things to me to like rope me back into like his fucking spider web, right? And I noticed it, but I noticed it and I didn't react to it. I would just kind of let him do what he did. I just wanted to see if he was gonna like try to reel me back in or whatever, right? And so after a couple weeks of this, I realized that he hasn't changed at all. The way that he talks hasn't changed. The way that he acts doesn't change. His victimhood doesn't change. He does this thing where he tries to make himself look like he's such a good person, and that he is so like changed, and oh, I'm doing so good, look at me. And I even asked at one point, I said, you know, am I like the only person that you're talking to like this? And he's like, oh my God, yeah. He's like, I don't have the mental capacity to even talk to like multiple girls anymore. I don't do that anymore.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
And goes in this whole entire spiel about how he just is looking for a woman to settle down with, and that again, like, he fumbled the bag with me, and that I should have been me and him, and like, you know, he doesn't talk to multiple people anymore. He's not like that. He's not a player anymore, and how he doesn't even hang out with his past friends anymore because they all do that. And I'm just kind of like, if you have to explain that much, that obviously means that you're fucking lying.
Stop it. Get some help.
He just knows me so well as like an individual and as a person that he knows the buttons to press. He knows what to say. He knows just everything. And he starts doing that, and he starts playing it very well. And he thinks in his mind that I'm sitting here like, oh, like, yeah, you know, we're going to get back together and this and that. Like, he really in the back of his mind, like, this is what I'm saying is like, these men out here really be taking us for dumb women, because he really in the back of his mind thought, oh my God, it's been years. It's been like 4 years since I've seen Dakota, since I've talked to Dakota, since I've done anything with Dakota. And I'm just going to come in, tell her I've changed, start putting on my smooth, you know, this smooth little like demeanor again, and I'm gonna swoop her back in and make her fall back in love with me. Like, no, like, are you kidding me? Like,
you probably had the right idea, right, but the wrong bitch. Hello.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was insulted. I was insulted that he took me for that much of a dumb bitch. Like, he really thought in his mind that I would go back to him after everything he put me through. And that's how you know men don't change, is because, like, if you really were sorry and you really have changed, you would have apologized and kept it pushing. You never would have been like, oh, can I add you back on social media? You never would have interested in conversation with me, like nothing, okay? And he starts bringing up, because he added me back on Snapchat, and all of our old like Snap memories start coming up. So back in the day on Snapchat, when you talk to somebody, it stayed there. It didn't delete after 24 hours. It stayed within the conversation. So all of our conversations from the day that we added each other on Snap, to the day we broke up were all on there, all of like our pictures, like everything. So you just saw a whole timeline of our relationship basically. So he would kind of like bring stuff up from that, and we would talk a little bit about that. And it was just like living in the past. Like he hadn't changed at all as a person, and I realized that. So there was a few times where he asked me to hang out and I had declined. Just was getting weird for me. Like I kind of was like, Dakota, why are you entertaining this person after like I had to remind myself of everything that this person had put me through in order to get my shit back together and be like, bro, like, are you kidding me? Like, do you not know how far you've come? Like, I literally had to sit down with myself. I have weekly meetings with myself regardless, but I literally had to sit down with myself and be like, Dakota, you have spent the past 4 years in therapy, healing, working on yourself. This man was the reason why you even got into therapy in the first freaking place. You have worked so hard on yourself. You have built a business from the ground up, raised a daughter, become self-employed, made your dreams come true. Like, being a YouTuber has been my dream. Like, I made this shit happen. I built this channel with the preface of like, I've been through a narcissistic, mentally abusive relationship. I was with a compulsive liar. And through my story and me getting out, I was able to help so many of you. So I'm like, why would you even be friends with somebody who did that shit to you? Like, you really have to have mental funerals for people sometimes, because there are certain people in your life who, because they know that you have a good heart, will take advantage of that and will use it to their advantage to benefit them. The only people who benefit from you not having boundaries are the people who benefit from you being walked all over. And there are certain people that you really have to have a mental funeral for and act like they literally do not exist in order for you to move on with your life, because certain people cannot come with you onto your next journey. Like, I'm trying to tell you guys, like, listen to what I'm saying to you. Like, people really just don't change. So I literally have like a talk with myself and be like, do you have any fucking self-worth? Do you have any self-respect for yourself? Yes. You made so many leaps and strides to move on from this person to become a better woman. Yes. What the fuck are you doing, you idiot? You idiot, you fucking dumbass. Stop. Why would you even entertain a conversation with this man? What the fuck is wrong with you, right? So I really had to look at myself in the mirror and be like, no, we're not doing this. And I dead ass, you guys, stopped answering him. Like, by him apologizing to me and by him trying to come back into my life, that was a huge test of my growth and my healing journey. Because one thing about life is it will give you the same lesson over and over and over again until you learn that shit. It'll give you the same person but a different face, same demon, different body. Life will give you the same experience with the same person over and over again. It will just look different. And the devil sometimes comes dressed and clothed as everything we've ever wanted to distract us, okay? There is such thing as a counterfeit lover and a real lover, okay? And a counterfeit lover is the one who's like, comes in as everything you've ever wanted, mirrors exactly what you wanted. You know, you say like, oh, I want kids and a house and a picket fence, and they're like, oh my god, me too. I had a rough childhood. Oh my god, me too. I've been cheated on so many times. Oh my god, me too. That's why I be telling you guys, when you go on dates and stuff, stop telling these men what you've been through with other men, because they're gonna see that and they're going to mirror that and they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna love bomb her, I'm gonna get her to trust me, X, Y, and Z, and then I'm gonna put her through the same thing everybody else has put her through. Have you ever met somebody and told them about experiences you have gone through and they put you through the same exact fucking experience? That is why. Stop sharing so much. Oversharing is a trauma response. Knock that shit off today. Before Adrian had even messaged me to apologize, I thought I was 100% healed. I thought that I was 1,000% healed over this man. And when he messaged me again, it was a test. It was a test from the universe to be like, all right, girl, let's see. Did you learn your lesson? Are you going to do what you always do? Or have you changed? Because you can remain or you can evolve. But if you remain in the mess and the toxicity and the chaos of what your past life was, you cannot evolve into a new life. A lot of people cannot become who they want to be because they are too attached to who they were. And in order to become who they want to be, you have to let go of who you thought you were. You have to let go of how you thought your life was going to be, the people you thought you were going to have, the friends you thought you were going to have, the relationship, the family you thought you were going to have. You have to literally dissolve all of that in order to evolve into your new life. That's waiting for you, but it's on the opposite side of fear. It's on the opposite side of you being comfortable and you staying stagnant within this energy, because it can't come with you onto your next journey. And so this was a test. Not gonna lie, at first I was failing. It's kind of like when you're taking a quiz and you like can't really remember this shit that you studied. So I was failing a little bit, and then I was like, no, this is not. And it's okay to relapse a little bit, right? But then it's important to, after that, not relapse again. So I was like, no, we're not doing this. I'm not even gonna entertain a fucking friendship with this man. So after, you know, like a day of me kind of sitting and thinking about it and, you know, meditating and talking to God, I was like, I'm not doing this again. You had the right idea, but you had the wrong bitch. So what I did was, you guys, I stopped answering him. Like, he texted me in the morning and he's like, hey, good morning, hope your day is well. Didn't say shit. And then he's like, hope you had a good day. Didn't say shit. And then he was like, besides you ignoring me all day, I hope you had a good day. Didn't say shit. Haven't talked to him since. Have not talked to him since. Listen to this, right? So I hadn't talked to him since. He still kept me on social media, but he wasn't looking at any of my stories, wasn't like replying to any. Like, I would post like a picture a lot of times on Instagram and he would like swipe up on it and like do hard eyes or whatever. Wasn't doing that. And I don't give a fuck. He thought I cared. I was like, I don't give a shit, you're not looking at my stories, right? I have a friend who, when me and Adrian were first together and he had moved out, so if you guys don't know, I was living with Adrian, who's my narcissistic ex, and he was cheating on me with one of his coworkers from this place, okay? It was through that place, there was this girl there. We're gonna call her Summer. So Summer was like one of his victims there. Like, he actually full on, you know, started talking to this girl while he was with me. And I only found this out recently, you guys. So he was full on like talking to her, made her think that, you know, they could be together, made her fall head over heels in love with him, made her just fall in love with him, right? It brought her into his toxic mess. And while he was talking to her, he was talking to another girl who was underage, like fucking 17 years old, disgusting, talking to me, and then talking to another girl as well outside of there. And basically how Summer found this out was because she was talking to Adrian. She thought that she was the only girl he was talking to, and she was a bit younger at the time. It's what he likes to do. He likes to go to like younger girls and try to like manipulate them. That's why a lot of men like little girls, because they like girls who are like 18, 19, who their prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for fucking decision making, isn't even fully developed yet. So he likes to go for younger girls, and made her think all of these things, made her fall in love with him, you know, blase. And then this one guy at her job came up to her and was like, hey, like, I know this has nothing to do with me, but like, I just want to let you know, like, Adrian is not who you think he is. He's talking to you. He's talking to that 17-year-old we work with. He's talking to one of my friends, and he's talking to his ex still, me.
Cut the cameras.
You know, obviously Summer like broke down. She was like upset, and so she randomly messaged me one day on Instagram and didn't tell me that like her and Adrian were talking, but she was like, hey girl, I just want to let you know that like you deserve so much better. Like, you deserve so much better, and I genuinely hope like one day that you like wake up and see that. Now at this time I already kicked Adrian to the curb because the rumors about the pregnancy with his girl best friend Amanda had come around, and at that point I was just like, like that, like enough is enough. Like, you have put me through so much. You have cheated on me, manipulated me, you know, lied to me. And I was like, like, it's not happening. So I was like, not happening, bye. And I had broken up with him, kicked him to the curb. So by that point, when she had messaged me, I thought that maybe she had heard the rumor about the pregnancy too, and that's why she was messaging me, because they worked together. But no, in actuality, she messaged me because she was like, girl, like, I was one of the victims too. So me and Summer have stayed consistent friends over the past like 6 years. I've never met her in person, but we voice note each other like every single day. We talk on Instagram all the time. Like, I genuinely consider her like a close friend. And through Adrian's like messy, you know, chaotic time in my life, I have gained a couple of really good friends that I still talk to. And it's really cool when you can talk to like a girl who was also involved with him, and instead of you guys being catty or petty, you guys can like become friends, right? So I really genuinely value Summer as a friend. She's such a good friend. And so we'll talk occasionally, you know, here and there, whatever, right? So there was one day that me and her had not talked for like a minute, like 2 to 3 weeks, which is not normal for us, but you know, life. So she voice notes me and she's like, girl, you're never gonna believe what happened. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I'm telling you, like, this shit only happens to us because what the fuck? And I was like, what? And let me remind you, she hasn't talked to Adrian over the past 4 or 5 years either, as have I not. And I told her a little bit of how he apologized to me, and she was like, oh, well, you know, like, maybe he's, you know, becoming a better person, maybe he's changing, but, you know, she's like, definitely keep your guard up. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I know. I told her, I was like, I would never get back together with him, but, like, you know, I'm gonna keep my eye out. So I'd never told her that me and him started like talking as like friends. I just told her he apologized and we had a quick conversation on the phone. That was it. So she goes, girl, tell me why. I was just at an appointment and the girl who was, I'm not gonna say the service because I just don't want to get anybody in trouble, but she's like, the girl who was, you know, doing the service, started talking to me, and she was saying how she was talking to this guy, and she starts describing him to me, and she starts, you know, saying details, and she's like, I think it's somebody that you know. And so Summer's like, well, who is it? And the girl who was doing the service was like, Adrian. Because I guess they all used to work together at this jump place. And she's like, wait, what? She's like, you're talking to Adrian? And she was like, yeah. You know, we've been talking for the past couple months now. We had been, you know, like we went on a couple dates and stuff and X, Y, and Z. So she starts spilling the tea about her relationship or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Dating ship, situationship with Adrian. And Summer, while she's telling me this, doesn't know that Adrian was like trying to talk to me, right? So I start dying, hysterically laughing, you guys. I just start cracking the fuck up. Oh, and let me remind you, I forgot to mention this. It's all coming back to me now. A week after I officially stopped answering Adrian over text, right? I see him, he's on Snapchat and he posts, right? You know how people post that shit where it's like on a date kind of nervous? He posts his plate and it's like a piece of bread. I guess he's out to eat. And I could vividly see like a hand in the background, and you could just tell it's like a woman's hands. Like her nails aren't painted or anything, but you could tell she got like a bracelet on. You know when you see a picture, right? And it says on a date kind of nervous. So I'm thinking in my mind, bitch, you mean to tell me that you tried to talk to me again, tried to hang out with me, tried to smooth talk me, and it didn't work, and I kick you to the curb, and a week later you're out on a date yet. You don't talk to anybody, and you're so lonely, and girls never talk to you, and you have no friends, and you... BFFR. What's that stand for? Be fucking for real. Like literally, like what the fuck is that?
Are you not ashamed of yourself?
So I'm just like, this boy really thinks that he has it like that. He hasn't. It just goes to show he hasn't fucking changed. So then me and Summer, you know, I send her a voice note. I'm like, bitch, listen to this shit. I tell her everything about how he tried to talk to me again. He was trying to get me to hang out with him. He was trying to get me to come to his house. Like he was trying to like smooth talk me. And she just fucking like voice notes me back, and she goes like, girl, what the hell? Like, how does this man keep being relevant even after like 5 years? What are the odds that Adrian would try to come back into my life, and then Summer goes to an appointment, like say she was getting her lashes done, she wasn't, but say that's what it was, goes to an appointment where she's getting her lashes done, and this man somehow gets brought up in conversation? Are you like, what the fuck? So yeah, I just literally told her, I was like, yo, people don't change. People don't change. People do not change. This is just proof that people don't change. Like, and I felt so good about myself, because here's the thing. My intuition was telling me, it was poking me. It was like, Dakota, don't talk to this man again. He's not worth your time, your energy, nothing. Like, do you remember when you were like on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m. and you were crying because of this man? No, don't do it. Please don't do it, because one of us goes in and we all go through it. Like, girl, no. No. And I told myself a couple months ago, I was like, come hell or high water, I am going to listen to my intuition from now on, because my intuition is always right. There has never been a time in my life where an intuition download has not come in and it was not right. And I used to be like, oh, maybe it's anxiety, or maybe, you know, my intuition's lying to me, or maybe this person's actually a good person, I'm just not ready for them. And then I would get screwed over, right? So I was like, nah, come hell or high water, I'm listening to my intuition, bitch. And I did. And I told myself, I was like, girl, nope, we're not doing it. And so I completely stopped talking to him, didn't have a care in the world, had no fear behind it, because normally I'd be like, oh damn, well what happens if in the future I look back and I wish I would have taken the opportunity? Now I'm like, bitch, you're gonna be fine no matter what, whether you say yes, whether you say no, whether you say maybe, whether you listen to your intuition, whether you don't, you're gonna be okay. The universe always has your back, right? So I was like, you have to start listening to your intuition and fucking trusting yourself, and stop worrying about the how. Stop worrying about the how. Let God and the universe take care of the how. You worry about what you're getting here and here. So I stopped talking to him, and then look, a week later he's already out on a date, and look, Summer's telling me about how she went to get her lashes done, how the lash tech was like, yeah, I'm talking to him, and I'm like, see? And he was probably talking to her the whole entire time that he was trying to, you know, get me back, and then he probably has a list of girls on the fucking roster. You know who Adrian is? Adrian is that boy who peaked in high school, okay? Peaked in high school, got all the girls, was popular, and then, you know, in his early 20s, same thing, like wanted to be in that fountain of youth, got all the girls, was popular, like thought he had game, right? That's how Adrian is. And then he got older and he turned 30, and all the girls that used to fall for his shit, and all the girls that he used to probably manipulate and mold and, you know, be narcissistic to, they smartened up and walked away, and they don't talk to him anymore. And so now he has to find new people and new prey, because that's what narcissists do, is they look at you as prey, not as a person. And now he has to get a whole new roster, but he's realizing that he doesn't have as many options, because you can only hurt people so much before the universe knocks you on that ass. And that's who Adrian reminds me of. He reminds me of that man who peaked in high school, was good looking, got all the bitches, and then now he's in his 30s and he's alone. That's what happens when you screw over every single girl that comes into your life. Like, are you okay? I just thought that was hilarious, and I had to share it with you guys, because you guys have been on this Adrian journey with me, and I felt so good about myself, because I was like, oh my god, like, I listened to my intuition, I was right. And like, now that chapter, it's already been closed, but now there's like a fucking triple nail in that bitch, in that fucking coffin, and that book is just, I threw that bitch in the ocean and it sailed, right? It's probably where the Titanic is right now. And also I realized too, I looked back at our relationship and I was like, I made our relationship special. That was me. That was not him. That was me. I made our relationship special. That was all me. That was not him. And I realized, like, I loved who I thought he could be. I loved who I thought he was. That's what I fucking loved. That's what I was attached to. Once I found out the truth, I was like, what is there love? He will always be my first love, but I do not love him anymore at all. And I honestly really need to just get this through your head, guys, is that when you leave somebody and you have peace, that's how you know it was the right choice. And when she was telling me all this, you know, Summer was telling me about all this shit, and then I clicked and I connected it to the picture on Snapchat, I was like, I wasn't even mad, I wasn't upset, I wasn't jealous. It had the complete opposite effect. I was happy. I was like, oh my god, I listened to myself and look what happened. The universe always provides. It will always give you signs. You just have to be fucking watching, you guys. And I felt good, because I was like, oh my god, yes, like, I don't even feel like I love this person anymore. I look back and there's no more hurt there. There's just this overwhelming feeling of gratitude, right? Because people come into our lives for a reason, either to teach us something or to add value to it. And when somebody is taking away your value, that's a lesson within itself that you need to walk away. This person came into my life to remind me of my worth, remind me of who the fuck I am, to teach me things that I would never be able to learn from a textbook, because experience trumps education any day of the week. He came into my life, taught me so many things about myself, you guys. And because of that relationship, I'm now able to sit here and reflect and share my experiences, help other women out there, and help heal other people while healing myself at the same time. So I will always be grateful for Adrian. Adrian is a chapter in my book, but he is not my story. Your ex or your, you know, past person that has hurt you is a chapter in your book, but they are not your story. You are the writer of your own story. You have a chance every single day that you wake up to write a new reality, to write a new outcome, to change things and mix things up. You are the creator of your own destiny, and every single day when you wake up, you need to remind yourself of that. Nobody is in control of your life but you. Nobody could change your life but you. Nobody could take away value or add value but you. It starts and ends with you. So I truly hope that you guys have watched this and learned something. I'm so happy that like I document my life on YouTube so I can come on here and I can reflect on this and I can just share what's going on in my life, and you guys kind of get to learn the process with me, right? You get to come with me as I go, because I'm not a finished product, okay? And if you are a finished product, you're at the end of your journey. Like, nobody's at their finish line. Everybody is going through this experience as a collective. We come here to learn, to experience, to love, to be heartbroken, all the things, in order to take those lessons, turn our trials into testimonies, share with other people, because what good are our experiences if we don't share them with other people so they can learn? And that is what the human experience is all about. Like, we didn't come here to struggle. We didn't come here to be hurt all the time. We came here to learn lessons and complete those lessons. That way we can learn and we can move on and we can grow, right? And I just feel like the past couple months, I have seen people's true colors so much. I've been finding out things from like years ago that I just found out now. And it's God in the universe's way of being like, you need to clear out these karmic cycles with these toxic men, and then you can meet your husband. Because I truly feel like the next person, oh my God, who the fuck is messaging me?
Shut up.
These toxic people in my life that I finally let go of and just don't care anymore are stepping stones for me to like find my husband, because I'm getting so close, you guys. I just feel it in my bones. I have been single for a whole entire year, and I've been intentionally single. I haven't been dating, haven't been talking to nothing. And I have really just like found myself, and I'm so happy with who I am right now that that's untouchable. Like, nobody can fuck with that. And these men that I've had these shitty experiences with have been stepping stones for me to learn my value, learn my worth, gain my confidence, establish this feeling of like I know myself, become one with myself. And now I know like what to look out for. I know what to not fall for. I know to trust my intuition. This was a huge testament to my intuition, to just trust it. So this is a big reminder for y'all to trust your intuition and to fall into that. Like, trust yourself. If you don't trust yourself, you cannot accomplish much in life. Like, you have to trust yourself and your decisions. You cannot build a steady life unless you have that foundation within yourself that you trust and you know and you believe. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This actually was not supposed to be my video for today. This video is supposed to be an experience that I had with somebody else where I've learned something recently that just kind of blew the lid off of everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video and film that one, so you guys will get 2 story times this week per. Really just hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you get something from it. If you did, don't forget to give it a huge like, subscribe, turn your post notifications on. Don't forget to also follow my podcast. Follow my podcast. It's called Sis Let's Heal, available on Apple, Spotify, Google, all streaming platforms. My lashes are from High Killa. I'll link them in the description below. You guys are always asking me. The gloss that I have is the Fenty Lemon Lava Gloss Bomb Heat. Hold on. Are always asking me for a lip combo, and I always leave y'all hanging because I forget. So I use the NYX Cold Brew Lip Liner, and then I top it with the Fenty Lemon Lava. Just, guys, look at this. Period. Life may be shitty, but at least your lip gloss is poppin'. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
Due to unusual rain and thunder, baby, I want